Back to episode 5 of the Locker Room Talk with Chase, Tyler, and Riley. How we doing?
It's your boys!
How we doing tonight, boys?
Great.
Terrible.
Terrible. What's going on with you now?
Oh.
Rough day or something?
Yes.
Let's get right to it. NHL tonight, boys. NHL update. Let's see where we're at right now.
What are we? 4:44 left in the first. Pittsburgh and Columbus are tied 1-1. Pittsburgh started off, 32 seconds, I said? Scored a goal?
Yep.
What an absolute barn burner. Not. Let's get straight to it. We're, 2 weeks out from the NHL All-Star Game?
Yeah, it's February 2nd?
Somewhere in there. Who made this team? Let's go over the rosters here right off the bat. The Pacific Division, led by Captain Connor McDavid. We got his teammate Leon Draisaitl, Johnny Gaudreau, Timo Meier, Jordan Eberle, Alex Pietrangelo, Mark Stone, Adrian Kempe, with the goalies being John Gibson and Thatcher Demko. Any surprises on that list, boys?
No, not really.
No, I think a guy like Kempe deserves it.
I think it's an underrated pick, yeah.
You know, LA's been pretty good. He's, I think, been leading his team in scoring. So.
Not bad.
Yeah. What about snubs? Any big snubs on that list? I mean, to me, I don't know what the situation is, but you look at Markstrom to me. Why isn't Markstrom on this list?
Pedersen's not on that list, is he?
I don't know if
Pedersen
Pedersen deserves to be on that list or not.
JT Miller.
Miller deserves to be on
JT
that list.
Miller,
I
yeah.
feel like JT Miller should be.
Yeah, and that's a name that shouldn't have had to fight for a spot.
No.
Like, he was in the last man voting, didn't get in, but shouldn't have even been a question.
Yeah.
Moving over to the Metropolitan. Led by Captain Alex Ovechkin, we've got Tristan Jarry, Claude Giroux, Chris Kreider, Adam Fox, Adam Pellich, Jack Hughes, Zach Werenski, Sebastian Aho, and Freddie Anderson.
Yep.
Any surprises there?
No, not really.
Well, Jarry and Anderson?
Jarry and Anderson?
Jari's having a good year. Anderson's also.
No, I'm just Jarry and Anderson, right?
Yeah, those are the
I
goals.
think Anderson is a surprise. Like, I've been hearing a lot about Shesterkin right now in New York.
Yeah,
And
that's
he's
a bit of a
been-
snub.
Yeah.
He's been
He's
pretty
Vesna
good.
right now. He's like Vesna caliber.
Yeah.
So Shesterkin for Anderson, I would say. But other than that, I mean, Ovi's at, 36, 37?
Well, he's playing like he's 25 again. Like he's making
He's
a
ridiculous.
Jarry
last year.
deserves there. Giroux, I don't know.
There's
It
no one
comes
else
to
on
question.
Philly.
We'll question
So
the
is it
format in
one-
a bit.
one-
One per team.
One per team.
Okay, never mind.
Minimum.
Like Nathan McKinnon said, it should be the best players, not
Yeah.
Not
one
necessarily
from every
points.
team.
Just like the
No.
best overall
Yeah.
players.
And I mean, you could argue a Pulak being there, but I mean,
Yeah. New York, yeah.
it's a Pellich or Pulak. They're both the same guy to me. Doesn't make that much. of a
They're really
difference.
good together, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see the Sebastian Aho, Jack Hughes, Adam Fox going out as a grouping together in that 3-on-3.
Yeah.
That excites me a lot with that speed. Yeah, moving over to Central now. Captain Nathan McKinnon, who's said some pretty questionable, controversial things in the past couple days about the All-Star format.
For Nazem Kadri, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that controversial.
With
I
his
think
teammate
it's
Cale
good.
Makar, Joe Pavelski somehow making this.
Well, who else on Dallas would be?
Yeah. Alex DeBrincat, Clayton Keller, Kirill the Thrill Kaprizov, Cam Talbot, UC Saros, Jordan Kyrou, and Kyle Connor, who's really slowed down since the start of the season. He had, 15 goals in 17 games? He's now only at 21 now. Like, he's really slowed down, but at the same time, who do you put in over him? You put in PLD in there?
Nah.
Can you?
Nah.
I think McKinnon has a point about, trying to get Kadri there, because if Kadri's been playing pretty good for them, I mean, he'd probably be a snub.
Oh, he's
At
definitely.
least he was
I
the
don't think
last
he's been
man.
in
At least he's got the last. No, he hasn't. At least he got the last man in vote, which we'll touch on at the end here.
Yeah.
But why was he fighting for a spot to begin with?
He's the top 5 basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been lighting the lamp almost.
Okay, last division, the Atlantic. Captain Austin Matthews,
Gross.
with teammates in net Jack Campbell and Vasilevsky, Victor Hedman, Drake Batherson,
Yeah.
Patrice Bergeron, Rasmus Dahlin, Dylan Larkin, Jonathan Huberdeau, and Nick Suzuki.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anybody on this list least deserving Nick Suzuki?
Yes.
Nick Suzuki has.
I mean, he's the
is
bright spot on
the
this
only
Montreal
person
team,
on that
but-
team that.
Agreed.
But I mean, why should he have to even be there? Why do we need a player from every team right now?
Matheson.
I mean, you can even argue Dahlin. Why are you there?
Because
True,
no one else
but
on that team.
Buffalo- yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you
Why
could
are
put in a
you-
Raymond even on this, or a Sider. Like, why are those?
Yeah, why
two
is
not even-
Raymond not in? That's a snub.
Why is Zegras not in?
Yeah.
Troy Terry. Like,
Yeah.
why are these guys having to? The NHL talks all the time about building up this massive thing and trying to build up their brand.
There's nobody on that list I would say is a surprise. I think they all deserve to.
No, they all, for the most part, deserve to be there, but it comes down to why. Like, why are you there over this guy?
Well, Campbell's fun.
Oh, Campbell's playing out of his mind right now.
Yeah.
He's the reason why that team's still in it for the most part.
Yeah.
Did you get all the divisions? I
Yeah.
think you did,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all the divisions. I'm just looking for the last man in results here.
It was Zibanejad, but Gensel has to go because Zibanejad can't.
Zibanejad had some personal reasons and he decided not to go.
Terry, I
Yeah,
think.
Troy Terry's in.
Lucas Raymond, I think, was on.
No.
Nope. Steven Stamkos
Was he not
is
in the
getting.
last one?
Yeah, he was,
Yeah.
but he didn't get it because Steven Stamkos apparently is.
I mean, Steven Stamkos is deserving too, though. Is it comes down to why do we just expand the rosters? I get it's 3-on-3. I get it's they're wanting to make only the top guys there.
I don't care what it is. A rookie like Raymond and what he's doing doesn't get in.
Yeah.
Come on.
You have some kids in there. This is gonna be one of the oldest All-Star teams in the league, in the world at this point. And then Kadri snuck in. Shouldn't have been a sneak in. Should have just been on that list to begin with.
Yeah.
But I don't think you can have 3 Avalanche.
Why not?
I don't think they would like
Newsbreak,
that.
Columbus just scored.
I mean, you look at MLB. There was at one point, what was it, 7 Cardinals starting in the All-Star game. Why can't we have that with NHL? Why can't we have if there's 5 guys deserving to go to the All-Star game on a team? Why can't those 5 guys just go?
Agreed.
Because Rantanen should be able to go, and
I mean, you can even argue Landeskog should be
Oh.
there to an extent.
that's
Such
a
a bad goal.
terrible goal.
But are there any changes we'd like to see to the format of this NHL?
So I was just thinking, sitting here about it. I think what we should be doing is going back a couple times there. They had 2 set captains for an East and a West, and you picked your team. So you could alternate. So you could pick from the East, you could pick from the West. I think what they should do to, I would say, increase revenue and change it up a bit. Alternate, like every second year, you go back to a 3-on-3, and then the next year you go to a full game. So
I think they should split it East and West. You
Yeah.
get all your best players from the East, all your best players from the West, and then they
I mean, you look at that. I mean, you can make a show out of that. That's more money that can be generated.
play
for
a full game.
And when we talk
East
about all
versus
these guys
West.
owing escrow back, what's the best way to do it? Put them on TV more. Get their faces out there more.
And we'll
like
ask,
Pronger, that picture circulating right now with Pronger nailing,
Just slamming
Justin
a Bud
Bieber.
Light back, like
But Justin Bieber in the All-Star game.
yeah, like that's what we need right now is that kind of stuff.
well, let's ask
To
Brad
boost the game.
Marchand, see what his opinions are.
He's been one pretty vocal between the Olympic stuff to him and the Canes. What's going on there with him and the Canes? Like, where did that start? I just seen the one picture or the one. quote of it all.
It started with, was it Trocheck or something, saying that he was compared to Marchand, and then Trocheck came back and said, "Oh, you think I'm a rat?" And then Marchand came back and said, "It's like comparing a Lamborghini to a Prius." Oh, Crosby scored.
Oh, there you go. And then what was it? The Canes then tweeted out after they beat the Bruins 7-1 in that game.
Yeah.
They tweeted out L stands for Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Is that what we need for this league? I mean, the
It's-
Canes have
it's
a
funny.
great social media team.
It's funny.
Oh, they do.
Do we need to see more of this? Do we want to see more of this?
Yeah, like I think it all stems from the $20 signing bonus tweet that was put out for
Yeah.
talking the Emmy, right?
I mean, those are the little things I think that boosts a team like a Canes, they're not in the biggest market. If they can get
Big
great
giver.
social media posts and great fan appreciation and fan engagement,
Yeah.
they'll rise up quickly. Let's move over from one argument to a dumpster fire. That is the Edmonton Oilers.
So we're good with the All-Star?
Yeah.
We're
I think
happy
so.
with
I
the
think-
choices.
yeah.
We're happy with...
I think for the most part, I mean, I'd like to see some different faces in there. As we were saying, JT Miller should be in this All-Star game, but I get it.
Yeah.
But let's see what this dumpster fire of an Oilers team is. They lost 6-0 to the Panthers last
That
night.
was a rough
And
night.
they outshot them and outplayed them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Koskinen can't score goals, but you can save a goal once in a while.
Yeah. Are either of those goalies on their team after the trade deadline?
No.
Let's just say it right now.
It depends. If I was Holland right now, I'd be making trades. But
if I'm Holland, personally, I would find a way to keep Smith and Skinner. Koskinen for sure needs to go, and I think Skinner needs to work a little bit more. But I don't think giving him up would be the smart move because you still want something in case something happens. And but I don't think Mike Smith's the answer.
I think he was the answer 20 years ago. I don't know about now.
20?
I mean, Mike Smith's what, damn near 40?
40.
39, I think.
Either way, 20 years ago was 19.
He signed a 2-year contract, so he's good until 40.
Ooh.
But he's not the reason they win the Stanley Cup or they get it past the postseason.
I mean, is Dave Tippett even the answer there anymore? Does Dave
they've
Tippett
lost-
last the end of the season?
There's a stat I saw. They've lost 13 straight games that Tippett's been on the bench. So,
And the 2 games he's out with COVID, they won with their.
yeah, so I was just going to say that was with him on COVID too. So they've lost 7 in a row currently.
Yeah. So
And they were a team that at the start of the year
does
was
Tippett
kicking
last the season?
by.
Detroit's ahead of them.
Vancouver's now ahead of them. I mean, mind you, the Oilers have games in hand. But Vancouver, who at one point everybody was already forgotten about, they're now ahead of the Oilers.
Mm-hmm.
As I come back to it, is Tippett on this coaching this team by the end of the season?
Yeah, because Holland said he wants them there. So.
I think you got to at least play it up.
He said the answer's in that locker room, but I don't see where the answer is.
The problem with the Oilers is they have a history of firing coaches when things don't go right. And I think their biggest issue was firing when they were terrible. Like they had, 3 or 4 first overall picks in 7 years? I think their problem was firing Dallas Eakins and Todd Nelson and firing all these guys who don't even get a chance to, like Dallas Eakins. He's in Anaheim right now, and look at where Anaheim. They're second in the division, third in the division.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the fans.
The
throwing
fans,
the jerseys
on
on
the ice. What are our thoughts on throwing jerseys on the ice? Even?
Those people are the reason people want to leave their teams.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like, if I'm a player, I get my team struggling. I get we're not doing great.
Why waste a $200 jersey?
Back your if you're a fan of that team, there's different ways to show your frustration. To me, that is not one of them.
Shout out to some of our fans who are going out to the game tomorrow and they're going to buy a couple jerseys and throw them on the ice.
Is that the right move to be doing? Throwing a jersey onto the ice at any given time?
No, not at all. Even, this is a football thing, but even burning when somebody burned Kaepernick's jersey and it was all over social media.
Yeah, it's
right?
just, it doesn't work for me. Let's move over to...
Why so pissy?
Why so pissy?
Why so pissy?
Why so pissy?
We're going to play a clip from the recent press conference.
For the losses now, is there one thing that you, in your own mind, you're saying we got to get better at that?
Yeah, we have to get better at everything.
Would you like to expand on that?
Nope. You can do that. You know everything.
Why are you so pissy, Leon? Why are you so pissy?
I'm not. I'm just answering your
Yeah, you are. Whenever I ask you a question.
I gave you an answer.
Not very good one.
Okay.
I have one more for you. Leon, you show your frustration on the ice last game against Ottawa. Is that a good thing when you show it so the other team knows you're frustrated?
Yeah, it's a great thing, for sure.
Good.
So, side note on that?
Yeah.
He was also responsible for ending another guy's career with an eye injury. That same reporter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jim Matheson.
Jim Matheson.
Please explain this story.
Let me try to find it here.
But while he's doing that, Riley, Jim Matheson's been with that media group for a long time.
Yeah, he's signed by the Oilers.
Yeah, so like you're saying, he's signed by the Oilers. What is that? That's your star player that he's going at.
Well,
These players are frustrated. Is poking the bear really the right thing to do?
Matheson's job is he wants to keep the team happy. He doesn't want to keep the players happy. That's his job. He wants to ask the stupid questions to the players and make it look like the players are bad and not the management groups.
I mean, you listen to this players in these media interviews. None of them are happy.
No.
Listening to McDavid the other night gave me pain. Like, he's the best player in the league. He's one of the best players to ever step on an ice. he sounds so frustrated. He was asked about Kane, and he just didn't even know. He said, if it helps, it helps. That's the kind of attitude they need to have going into this.
Oh, agreed.
Not the Dave Tippett, or Koskinen comments going back and forth.
Yeah.
I mean, no, whatever was taken out of context either way, but that shouldn't have had to get to that point. Mm-hmm. Why is your coach, either way, calling out your goalie?
Yeah.
In media. It's one thing to do it in a locker room. Like, if I were, my team has a bad night and my goalie's been played like crap, yeah, I might say some things to him. I'm not going to go out and throw it out to the media. I don't know. That's my 2 cents into that. I don't know what really matters out of it, but
They won't hear this anyways. So
No,
it doesn't even
Here's-
matter.
So, Jim Matheson's lie ended in Brent Miners having his orbital bone broken.
really,
That's what happened. There was some stuff because Jim Matheson used to play in the NHL.
yes.
What's this?
Okay, moving over to Evander Kane.
Sorry.
Should the Oilers bring in Evander Kane?
Yes.
Does he help this locker room at this
Yes,
point?
if he can get through the border,
The known guy who has locker room issues.
it doesn't matter.
Does he help a locker room that's already in shambles?
It doesn't matter. They need something.
They need goal scoring that isn't those two players.
Vancouver?
No,
sorry,
Evander Kane to Edmonton.
Yeah, and I just saw a YouTube video. Could McDavid or Draisaitl want out if the Oilers missed the playoffs?
Yes.
That's a
I think they
hypothetical
should.
question. Now, do they go together? And that's a big one too. I don't
Where-
think
anybody
Where are they
afford them
gonna
together?
go?
together they can't.
Go to Detroit, baby.
Woo!
Who's got cap? Arizona.
Arizona doesn't have cap.
And Matthews?
No, who has Buffalo has the most cap in the league, but
So-
who wants to play in Buffalo's?
I mean, if they can get those two guys there, I mean, those two guys together, we've seen what they've done with Edmonton in the past.
Could you imagine going to Arizona and Austin Matthews is only a few more years away?
That's the thoughts. I mean, what goalies should Edmonton even look at? I mean,
Korpisalo.
Korpisalo, Fleury.
Holtby's
I've
been
heard that
going
backup to
around.
Shashursky and what's his name there? Grigorov or whatever his name is.
Gorgiev or whatever.
Yeah.
I
He
heard-
wants out.
I
That's
heard
almost a
Varlamov.
fit. Yes, even Billy Husso is a name that's been thrown out there.
Yeah.
Who fits that lineup the best, in your
Korpisalo.
opinion? Korpisalo? Tyler, what do you think?
Korpisalo wants out since they gave Merzlikins that extension.
I think Holtby would be a good fit, being he's around these parts. He was born and raised Lloydminster area, and he's won a Stanley Cup. He's got experience, and for the cap hit, I think that's what you need to look at from Edmonton. You can't be paying guys $4.5 million.
That's why they get rid of Koskinen.
Yeah, I think Koskin's out the door. They need to find a way to lock down their D, I think, too, as well.
Mm-hmm.
Find some stability. I mean, they've got some big names on that defense. We can't, I mean, nothing against Duncan Keith or even Barry or
Everything against
Nurse,
Duncan
but at the same time, they're not the players they were.
No.
Especially not Nurse and Barry. Keith and Barry. They're not the names they used to be.
Or CC. Why did they give that contract to CC?
Is it worth bringing Giordano in or Klingberg?
Klingberg.
Klingberg wants out.
Klingberg does want out.
What
They
does the
need
trade for Klingberg look like?
they need a defensive defenseman. Like
It's not Duncan Keith.
that's not Duncan Keith because Duncan Keith is
No.
slow. They need Adam Larson back is what they need.
Or Jamie Alexiak. Do they go call Seattle and see what they can get for a defenseman? I mean, they got 3 names on that defense core that I'm like, yeah, this could work for you, Edmonton. I mean, Giordano, Alexiak.
Chitrin.
Yeah.
Except they don't want to give up their
I think that asking price is a little high right now.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
we'll get to that. Let's move on to some trades we want to see happen. Or that we could see happen coming up. I honestly think someone from that Vancouver core, meaning Miller, Pedersen, Horvat, Besser, one of those names isn't going to finish the season on this team by the trade
Miller.
deadline.
I heard Miller. He
Miller?
might go to
I could see Pearson even too.
no.
I could see a guy like Besser getting moved because Besser, I think on a different team could do a lot more. He's kind of like unsung in Vancouver right now, and I think by him moving, you get rid of some cap because he's got quite a bit of cap, right?
He's got a fair bit. I don't know. It's not a crazy.
But I don't think Miller, Pedersen, or Horvat leave. Horvat's a locker room leader. Miller's been dynamic for that team, and Pedersen's your
To
future.
me, I look back to when the locker room was split between Miller and Horvat through that bad stretch right before Boudreau came and joined the team. What does that mean looking at the trade deadline now is the question.
I guess you got to look at what's going to help my team and what am I going to get in return.
And that's the thing. I mean,
From
Horvat is
Vancouver.
younger, but is Miller that much better of a player?
How old's Miller? 30s?
No, he's like
Yes.
29, 28 or 29, I think.
Okay, what does Edmonton do? Does that Edmonton goalie we just talked about, Holtby, Korpisalo, they need to make a move.
Mm-hmm. They need defense too.
What
They
about
need,
Merz Lincolns? Not Korpisalo.
I don't think
No,
Lincoln's gone.
no.
After they gave him that extension, he's not going
No,
anywhere.
it's
So
gonna
he's
be
the
so.
future. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need bottom 6 guy. They need defense, a goalie, a new coach.
Is Fleury that answer, though?
No.
Is the Flower the answer?
They don't have enough cap space.
Yeah. There's.
But do you find enough cap space for Fleury?
You would have to include a package that includes some guys that you probably
Just-
as an Oilers fan you don't want to get rid of, but from a hockey side you're probably looking at like this guy needs to
Get rid of Koskinen,
Koskinen's gotta
Cassian.
Cassian needs to go.
Yeah. So where does a Fleury go? Or does he go? I honestly don't think they move him. Because he's got, 1 year left on his deal?
So I did look into it on TSN. They reported that, and Chicago's approved this too, if Fleury's to go, it'll be his call whether he leaves or not. It's not up to Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think they're 8 points out of the last Western Conference playoff spot,
Yep.
behind San Jose with 5 teams in between. And Fleury said he wants to get Chicago to the playoffs. That's his goal.
Is that going to happen, though?
No.
It's possible. They're still not out of it, obviously. But that's Fleury's goal. So if Fleury chooses to move on and try to chase a cup, he will do it on his own terms. If he wants to go win a cup somewhere else, he'll tell Chicago, I want to get
The
traded."
Flower back to Pittsburgh?
That's what I said. If
I don't
Pittsburgh
mind
come
that.
up with a deal.
Does Jari like that, though? I mean, we've recently seen what bringing back a goalie from the past does
Smith
to a
like
team.
that? I think DeSmith goes.
DeSmith will be a part of that trade, if anything.
Yeah.
It'll probably be DeSmith and Domingue.
What about a Swayman to Edmonton? Thinking about the snap. Thinking
No,
about goalies
Boston
who's
doesn't
at
want to get rid of Swayman.
He's their future.
Yeah.
He's their future, but I mean, if you're him, are you happy that you're now buried in the minors again?
Nope. I don't know why you'd sign a 40-year-old Rask.
It almost brought a tear to my eye listening to Allmark talk about Swayman going down, where he's saying what he's going to miss most is the hugs at the end of the game.
And to
that
me,
almost brought a tear to my eye.
To me, if you're Rask, you're kind of playing it dumb because now you're getting prorated money. You're not getting the full.
No, if you're going to do that, why not just come back at the start? I mean, I get you needed time.
You should have
but
signed
I mean,
that deal at the start of the year.
You sign the deal and take a step away.
Yeah. I could see Fleury to Pittsburgh. I mean, look what happened when they had both Fleury and Murray. And Fleury started, and he was rock solid, and then he started to struggle. Well, you
Then
have
have Murray
another
in the
number
tank,
one netminder, right?
Oh, Matt Murray.
Jari's a number one.
Matt Murray. Oof. Although,
Like Jari's a number one on
Oh,
Pittsburgh.
he
He's
is.
a number one. And
he's
he
an all-star.
deserves- He is.
He's an all-star.
But to have and that's one of the things they said when they went back to back. To have two goalies that you can turn to at any point in a series is critical. Because if you don't have, it's the teams that struggle are the teams that like in Edmonton, where you don't have a solid backup. So if you need to turn away, and that was Pittsburgh's downfall last year. Is DeSmith was out, so Mike Sullivan didn't want to put Maxime Legacy in to calm Jari down.
Yes.
So Jari was getting rattled and stuff. So now, if you bring in a guy like Fleury, you might still go to Jari, and Fleury might play a couple games down the stretch. But at least if Jari doesn't have it, then it's like, I got all the confidence to go to my backup.
Yes, and that's the thing. Moving on to a couple D-men. What does a trade for Mark Giordano look like? Does Mark Giordano leave?
Seattle would want lots of capital back. They would want
they,
to
though?
get some draft picks.
So where's the optimal fit?
For a guy like Giordano. For a playoff contending team?
Yes, for a playoff contending team with 1 year left on a Giordano deal.
Nashville? Or do they have too much cap invested?
The way Nashville's been flying, I mean, you could make the room. I think it's not a massive. I think it's only like $4 or $5 million. It's not a massive deal. It's enough, but it's
Nashville.
not really.
Tampa, I think, would be out.
Tampa's
Toronto,
out, Vegas
anyone
is
in the
out.
Atlantic would be out.
Yeah.
I think.
Boston?
No.
Boston.
Maybe.
I have a different suitor for Boston. I have a different player for Boston.
Klingberg?
I have a John Klingberg going to Boston.
That would work. I mean,
Klingberg.
what do they have?
Klingberg
McAvoy?
doesn't even make
They have
it.
imagine that top pairing of McAvoy and John Klingberg. That scares me.
Yeah. I could honestly see because of, and they haven't struggled with Hamilton, but I could honestly see Carolina maybe swinging a deal for a guy like Giordano.
He
Or-
seems like
I could see a trade involving Chikrin going to Boston.
Yes.
Because they got a bunch of young guys.
What about the Rangers? Are they kind of invested?
I think the Rangers are kind of done with D-men for a bit.
No, I heard Klingberg.
Well, I heard Klingberg even Colorado, and that one surprised me.
Yeah.
I mean, I get Byram's taking a bit of a leave of absence due to some past concussion syndrome, but
Yeah.
And that's another team. Colorado.
what do you
just to
give
shore
up
up,
for?
Giordano to Colorado just to shore up maybe that bottom six.
Yes.
Just to shore it up a bit and.
So speaking of Chikrin, does Arizona move anybody? They've got some young
Kessel.
kids that should be gone. That should be
Kessel.
moving.
Do you think Kessel goes? He wants to get traded just to, chase another cup. Not to Pittsburgh or anyone, but just put him on a playoff team.
What's the other guy's name? Larson.
Adam Larson or
No, on
Joan Larson. Right?
Johan Larson.
Johan
I could, yeah, that wouldn't be a bad move.
Brad Richardson.
I don't even know what Arizona.
So what is a trade package for Jacob Chikrin?
It's got to be at least one first round pick. Probably a first and a
They
second for
said
sure.
I mean, I get he's a guy.
Lawson
who played
Krause.
amazing.
That's who I was thinking of. Lawson Krause.
Lawson Krause, yes.
And Gostisbehere. Gostisbehere's having an unbelievable.
Gostisbehere should be traded. Gostisbehere to even Edmonton at this point.
Oh yeah.
Edmonton would be a good.
I like that fit actually. Let's move over to Montreal now. What does Montreal trade at this deadline?
Everything.
I mean, they're sellers. But so
Everything but Suzuki.
Do you trade a guy like Weber to Arizona for cap? I wouldn't say cap relief, but just to get rid of that contract.
He's on LTIR, so
Yeah,
I
it's
know,
no
but
cap, anyway.
Brent Seabrook and Marian Hossa went on LTIRs to Arizona for cap relief.
I don't
or
think
whatever
you
it's-
give up. I don't think Weber's contract's long enough to be worried too much about that. I believe it's
Just
only
let it
one.
run out.
Yeah.
And they're not in a position anyway
No.
with the
No.
cap.
That doesn't
anyways,
even matter.
so
No.
they're gonna get rid of Josh Anderson and
I see Anderson going.
Toffoli could be a playoff.
Toffoli
acquisition
should be
player.
going to a playoff team, in my opinion.
mm-hmm.
I mean, we just got word that Jake Allen's out for a couple weeks now.
8
Yeah.
8 weeks.
8 weeks. Price is still. I haven't even heard anything about it since
Does
he
it-
initially came back.
Does a guy like Petrie get moved?
Oh yeah. Petrie's getting it moved and
So what I'm hearing is it's going to be a hell of a deadline for D-men.
oh yeah.
Yay. Let's move over to just quick standing talks. And then, of course, everything's not working at the same time I want to. Western Conference right now. Let's go through the top 10. Colorado's in the lead right now with 57 points. Vegas right behind them at 50. But they're missing some key guys for some time now.
Vegas,
I mean,
yeah.
Patches is out. Eichel's got a setback, I heard. Who's the other one there? Mark Stone's looking at some time.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're catching him. Nashville at 53 is just blown out of the water recently. The guys that they were that they paid the money to, Duchesne, Johansson,
Forsberg.
they're not stepping up. And Forsberg's doing it in a contract year too.
That's true.
This is, I mean, that Janot kid.
Yeah,
The
10
Janot's been amazing for them.
It's been a good fantasy.
Yes.
Fantasy player. If you're looking for fantasy,
St. Louis in 4th place at 51. They're kind of just status quo at this point. I don't think they've really played out of their minds. I don't think they've played bad. I don't think they've played amazing. Los Angeles. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry. I think Pittsburgh just pulled the Smith. I think Is Jari 35? I think so.
You're the Pittsburgh fan.
Yeah, you're the Pittsburgh guy.
Yeah, I think Jari's 35, so I think they. Anyways, Jari's in net now for Pittsburgh.
Huh, that's
Yes.
a different talk. In 6th place, we've got or in 5th place, we got LA. Are we starting to see an LA resurgence again? Mid 2000s?
You should go by division because that'll help. Is there a wild card option?
Yep, there's a wild card
I
option.
just go by the wild card.
So sitting right now in the 3 divisions, or 2 divisions, we've got Colorado, Nashville, St. Louis, and Central leading.
Okay.
Pacific, we've got Vegas, LA, and Anaheim.
2 teams that were not expected to
No.
be there.
I mean, Anaheim's a team where they've got the potential,
Yeah, they've got the skill.
but no one expected it this year.
No, and the only glaring weakness I would even say on that team is Getzlaf's age.
Yes. That, and they've got a crap ton of players on COVID right now. They've lost Terry, they've lost Milano, both Hampus Lindholm or whatever the kid's name is, and their other Manson, I think it is.
Josh Manson.
Yeah.
Or
out.
yeah.
And sitting in the wild card right now, we've got Minnesota and San Jose. Another team that I'm like,
Well, so how many points does Mini have?
Mini's got 47 and San Jose's got 44 with Calgary right behind them at 42.
And then
What about the
Winnipeg.
Central though? 47. Who's
47, 51 is the lowest out of St. Louis.
so Minnesota's dropped a bit because they were
Yeah.
leading the.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Moving over to the East now. We've got in the Atlantic, Florida, Tampa, Toronto.
Florida, Tampa, Toronto.
There's
which
nothing
is-
touching those three, I don't think.
yeah.
No,
there's-
and that's with the exception of Boston not being there. That's
Yeah.
going to be the rivalry moving forward. Is those three?
Metropolitan, we've got New York, the Rangers, Carolina, and Pittsburgh.
And Pittsburgh's been playing incredibly well lately.
Yes.
And then Washington right behind them. And then Columbus at 37. Jesus.
Yeah. And then we've got Boston at 48 points. Who, it says something when they've got 48 and they're sitting in.
The second wild card?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That so far the divisions have been pretty close. A
They'd
lot
be
of
in
teams-
fourth place in the West right now. if
Detroit
Boston was
is
in the West.
Detroit is on the outside looking in right now. They're so close.
Detroit, Columbus is, I mean, they're, I don't know. It's an 8 or 9 team race at this point, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
With Columbus maybe making some noise at the end, but
So Columbus is one of those mediocre teams, right? They're gonna make it. They're not gonna make it.
so out of those 16 teams, what's the biggest surprise to you? I have to say Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I'd say
LA
Los
being where they
Angeles
are.
or Anaheim. Because if you look at the preseason standing predictions,
Neither of them were expected to do
no,
anything.
it's supposed to be Vegas, Edmonton, and then a wild card team.
Which, let's just touch on Edmonton here. They're in 7th in the wild card race at 38 points.
Yikes.
They also have games in hand.
They only played one game in like 2 weeks or something.
Yeah, where San Jose has already played 41 games.
Yeah,
And with 44 points.
but if they keep on this streak that they're on, that might not be
Yeah.
different.
How about you, Riley? Any big surprises to you?
Anaheim, really.
Anaheim, yeah. You know, it's weird to say, but Boston not being up there even higher to me
They're
is a
an
big
old.
surprise.
They're an old team.
So, I mean, to me, it looks like they're playing out of their minds. I mean, they moved past it down just to get more lines in there. And even still, he's still lighting the lamp.
Oh, Crosby. Come on, buddy. No
Let's
tripping
move it
over.
over to some free agent talk. These are the top 10 predicted NHL UFAs of the 2022 class, as predicted by Sportsnet. Number 1, we got Johnny Gaudreau. Where's he signing?
He's
He
if
won't be in Edmonton.
In Calgary?
He won't be in Calgary. He'll probably go to a state team.
I say it's crazy, but Philly
if Calgary keeps this up and goes to like Stanley Cup, I can see Gaudreau re-signing.
re-signing Mink.
If
Number
they go
2,
to the cup, yeah.
Thomas Hertl. Where's he off to?
He's gonna get traded.
He's going to get traded. Where does he get traded to?
What's his cap hit even?
I have no idea.
He's got to go to an extreme contender like Boston, maybe.
Yeah. And does he re-sign in Boston afterwards then?
Maybe.
Rental. I think
Number 3, Chris Letang.
he'll resign in Pittsburgh.
It's weird to see him without a Pittsburgh jersey on, but it's one of those days where I think,
The Smith was pulled. Jeez.
yeah,
No, because that's a huge speculation. Because Crosby's still got 4 years left on his.
yeah.
And he's obviously going to continue playing. And
What was the stat? The 3 of those guys have played, 16 seasons together?
16 seasons.
The
They
most
said
by a
that.
trio ever?
Yeah. And Kane, Keith, and Taser on there, and there's another.
Then he becomes old too. I mean, Pasta, I think the Pasta Bergeron Thomas or something like that, or Rask. There's Boston grouping on there. Number 4, career year for Nazem Kadri.
Oh, he's gonna get a big time contract.
He'll
Colorado
get a
can't
contract.
afford a big time.
Colorado will be giving it to him.
What about a Seattle?
No.
And Nazem Kadri to Seattle.
To be what, your number 1 center?
Yep.
Yeah, I can
To a
I
team
can
that
honestly
needs a number 1 center.
If he keeps
Seattle's so far out right now. I don't think.
No, not to trade.
No, to sign.
No, but they're still so far out. I don't think Kadri wants to go there. He wants to win a cup.
True,
Yeah.
but if they can guarantee him good money, and if he keeps his head clean and be the number 1 center, that might be a lucrative destination.
It could be very well. Number 5, Felipe Forsberg.
Philippe.
He's got to re-sign with Nashville, I think.
I think so. I think Nashville's in a position.
I think
If
want
they
him.
make the playoffs, he could resign. But if they don't, they might trade him.
Number 6, Klingberg.
Oh, he's getting traded.
I mean, there's no way he's re-signing now.
Probably
so
be
that's
traded
whatever.
before he signs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and
where
and
does he
then
sign?
I think part of the deal might be if he gets traded there, he'll immediately
He
sign
signs
with
a
them.
deal anyway.
Yeah.
So where's that deal you can sign?
I don't know.
Any predictions?
I like Riley's about the Rangers.
I like
I think that would be a good spot for a guy like that.
Rangers, Boston. Yeah,
What about an old head, Patrice Bergeron?
he's re-signing, and
Is there any way that we see Patrice Bergeron on anywhere but a Boston
no,
jersey?
Boston's gonna re-sign him, and he'll take a cut because he's like hometown kid.
Well, that's the thing. He's
Do
played in Tampa.
like what Big Ben did and just cut your contract down quite
Yeah.
a bit so you can add elsewhere.
Well, that's the thing is, I
If-
think Boston
or-
wants to contend. They gotta keep adding in.
He could do like a signing bonus if he gets like
Like
20 goals.
yeah.
If he gets 20
Yeah.
goals, he
All
gets.
about the incentives for him.
Yeah,
Malkin, same as Letang,
I don't know.
He won't.
but he's a guy where out of those three guys, I don't think he finished his career in Pittsburgh.
I think he does because there was speculation many times that Malkin's getting traded.
See, and I think this might finally be the year.
No.
I don't know.
I could
think
even
he'll
see
take a pay
Washington
cut.
calling for him.
Him and Ovi, maybe.
Math has
They got
been
the-
out for a while with shoulder surgery.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know.
No, old soupy Jack Campbell.
Toronto said-
Toronto wants the guy.
Toronto said no. He said because he's grew up as a Toronto fan.
Yeah.
He would take a hometown cut, and Toronto said they were making deals at the deadline to make room for Castles.
Yes. So
But you don't want to take too much of a discount. You don't want to give too much of a discount.
see, but he's a guy. He came up from the ECHL. Like he's not a guy
That's
who's.
true.
He was never. Not to say that he wasn't going to be this, but he was never a guy who was expected to be a Vezina candidate,
No.
a
That's
top
true.
goalie.
That is
So is that mindset a little different than a guy like just per se a Fleury, where he was drafted, he was expected from the start to be something. That mindset's got to be a little different in my mind.
I guess, yeah. Like, and considering Fleury's been a goalie, he's made the playoffs in was it 15 straight seasons?
Yes.
Something he's set a record. It's
Yeah.
pretty incredible that he's been to the. That's a lot of hockey to be playing.
Oh yeah.
So I gotta ask: does Pittsburgh have anybody under contract for more than 2 years? I mean, Brian Rust is the last name on this list,
Gensel, I think, is signed for
Yeah.
a bit, 5 years ahead.
but does Rust come back?
Rust will come back.
I think out of those 3 names, Rust is the one that's not going to come back.
No, Rust will come back. I think all of them will come back, but there'll all be some discounts.
See, Rust is a guy I don't think that takes a discount. I think the other two will. I think
He's
that.
young, yeah, I agree. He's young enough that he might want some money. So I agree with that.
Riley, any thoughts on that?
I don't know.
He's a Red Wing fan.
Yeah. Okay, that's all we've got today, folks. Where can they find us at?
You can find us on Insta at the LRT Pod and on Twitter at the LRTP.
Like and subscribe to us on YouTube. Thanks for watching and listening.
Peace!